founder of the Academy of Light Medicine and the Topocan Healing Method. In this series, I'm talking about healing myths, mistakes, and misconceptions. Today's topic is all about following the science. There is a huge misconception when it comes to following the science. Some people actually even quip, follow whose science, right? Well, somehow in our society, for quite some time, probably hundreds of years, we've become enamored with science. Like it is the be all and end all, and that's how we should make all of our decisions based on science. Well, here's the thing. Science changes with new knowledge, and over time, what seems to be good science now and the conclusions we make now get questioned, and through the scientific method, it gets discovered that later on we were completely wrong. So following the science, it's easy to say that, but it's harder in practice because we're only using our left brain, our analytical brain, and not actually using the right brain, which is the creative brain, the imaginative brain, the big picture brain. And when you just follow the science, you actually become a slave to whatever the latest science is without the ability to really feel and see and understand beyond what is in the physical material world. And yes, there are things beyond the physical and material world. They say that 80% of people believe in God. I'm like, well, I believe in God, but not the same kind of God I believe in when I grew up. I thought this guy was an old man with a beard sitting on some throne in heaven, right? So, and it's okay if that works for you. But there are some beliefs that a lot of people have. A lot of people believe in love. But it's like, how do we measure that? Right? Because in science, you're actually measuring things, which is really, really cool. So there are some things, that are very, very difficult to measure. People have tried. There's all this right brain stuff that we are just not really paying attention to. And in our society, we don't even give it credit. So think about it. In high school, for example, when they're thinking about cutting costs in our current Western education, they do not cut out math. They do not cut out science. What do they cut out? They cut out physical activity sometimes. They cut out art. They cut out, things that they consider superfluous. But what if, as humans, we thrive when we are able to utilize both hemispheres of our brain to the greatest degree? So there's nothing wrong with following the science as long as you come from the point of view that science changes. Conclusions change, and good science continues to question the status quo over and over and over again. Way back when we learned about the germ theory from Louis Pasteur, I just thought, okay, germs exist. This is the cause of disease. This is what we learn in microbiology and medical school, yada, yada. We take antibiotics. We kill it. Okay, what? Now we're creating antibiotic resistance. Well, we're going to kill it with more antibiotics, better antibiotics. Oh, wow, they're getting resistance to that too. Okay, so, and we just have to invent more antibiotics. But what if the whole concept of germ theory is incorrect? OMG. So during the time of Louis Pasteur, there was another guy named Antoine Beauchamp. And he had a completely different idea about why people get sick. Now, Louis Pasteur apparently plagiarized his work, and he became famous and wealthy, and Antoine, not so much. But Antoine, his theory, we call it the terrain theory, was all about, okay, it's not about germs per se and bacteria, whatever, making people sick. It's more about what is that person's internal milieu. How healthy are they? Their immune system. Do they have healthy habits? Do they have healthy nutrition? Do they get enough sleep? Because why is it when they actually purposefully, I guess we don't do these studies as often these days, but when they purposefully inoculate, quote unquote, healthy volunteers, okay, with a known pathogen to cause disease, why is it that only 60% actually come down with any symptoms at all. What about the other 40%? They had the exact same dose of inoculation of that pathogen, of that bacteria. Why did they not get sick, right? If you're just looking at germ theory, you're just like, it's a germ, you have too much germ, you get sick. Well, not really. The science actually doesn't support that. But all this time, for all these decades, we believed in this germ theory. And so when Louis Pasteur, on his deathbed, it was heard that he said, Antoine was right. Antoine was right. The terrain theory is correct, not the germ theory. But Louis Pasteur, I give him a lot of credit. He actually banked in a lot of, he got pretty famous, and he was like, yeah, this is awesome. But maybe on his deathbed, he was like, oh my gosh, I really need to come clean. I don't really know why he said that on his deathbed. However, we know now with functional medicine, right? And some people have known this for a very long time. Many different kinds of healing practitioners have known this for a very long time, like homeopaths, for example. And functional practitioners, naturopaths, they understand this concept. To get people healthy, it's not about killing the germ. To get people healthy is to get them healthy 360 degrees so that they are resilient to germs that are opportunistic. So the germs are opportunistic. It's like, hey, if you got some food there for me, I'll take advantage of you, right? So if you're a big sugaraholic, you might have an overgrowth of yeast. You might be addicted to sugar. And the little guys in your belly, whether it be yeast, mold, bacteria, whatever, like, woo, we get some dessert food. Do you remember the movie Gremlins? Right? So when you fed the gremlin after a certain hour, really cute little guy, right? Turned into a monster. Yeah. Well, our microbiome, which is, all these trillions and trillions of cells in our bodies that is not our own, whether that be bacteria, parasites, so-called parasites, viruses, fungi, whatever, right? When you overfeed them with an imbalance of nutrients, not only do you not get better and your immune system goes down, they kind of can turn into monsters, some of them. And they kind of go, and they make you feel like, I want to eat more sugar. Have you ever gone on a sugar detox? Have you ever had that sugar flu? I haven't had to do that, but I've had many people that have. Not fun, okay? Because these guys are detoxing. So our understanding of how the immune system works, how our bodies work, has changed over time, but yet the science that is being taught in our colleges, universities, medical schools, lags behind up to 50 years. There's other studies that show, the information doesn't get there 30 to 50 years later, right? So if you are asking your conventionally trained doctor, not necessarily your functional medicine doctor or practitioner or naturopath, how to get better, they may have a limited scope of what they know based on the science that they were taught, which has changed. Quantum physics, another example, right? That started in the 20s? To this day, the average person doesn't even get a tiny bit of quantum physics. They don't even know that everything is made of energy. They don't understand that the wave and the particle and how you manifest into the physical, you go from a wave to a particle, and your attention and your observation changes the result. The average person doesn't know that. I didn't know that until whatever it was, 5-10 years ago, right? So, but this is science from started in the 20s. So when we talk about follow the science, it's hey, anything or anyone that says this is the science, this is solid, follow that, there's no questioning, that is not science. Science is questioning. Science is growing and evolving. And yeah, we're way behind here, okay? The average medical doctor or licensed practitioner is not aware of the terrain theory. They're not aware of quantum physics. So yeah, we're way behind. So that means you ultimately are responsible for your own health and well-being, and maybe that means studying. Maybe that means experiencing different things. Maybe that means hiring or partnering with someone who does know more of the recent science and who is open to questioning it, very important, open to questioning it to see if we can get an even better result, even better, even better, even better. So I am constantly questioning, not because I'm cynical, but because I'm curious. Is this really true? Maybe it was true yesterday, but not today, you know? And when presented, and I used to be very closed-minded about these things, but I'm going to be honest about that. But when presented with new information, no. Sometimes it bites my ego because it's not what I believed before, right? And so my ego takes a little like nosedive, but then I go, okay, all right, let's just brush that off. I'm learning something new here. Okay, can I be open to it? And when that happens, a whole new world of healing becomes available to you. And that's what's really exciting to me. So I encourage you to really question the science, not follow the science, but question the science, and see if it's true for you in this moment and in this time. And see if you are flexible in your understanding of science. And also remember to use that right brain as well, that intuitive part of you. Does it feel right to you? Does it look right to you? Does it sound right to you? Do you feel a sense of calm and power and empowerment? So there's all these different ways, that we can tell. But like I said, I highly encourage you to not follow the science, but to question the science. And sometimes do your own scientific, do your own little mini science study. So I'd love for you to comment below this video and let me know what your thoughts have been after watching this video about following the science. What's been working for you? Not necessarily what science you're following, but just like, does it make sense? Does it make sense that science changes over time and should be questioned? Because that's how we grow, that's how we evolve, that's how we learn. Instead of science being in this box, right? Are you open to different answers from what you expected? So post in the comments, let me know. Let's learn from each other. And very soon I'll be launching a 3-hour live interactive workshop. I'd love for you to be part of it. If this is resonating with you, if this series is resonating with you, I'm going to go ahead and post the link near this video. And I hope to see you on the other side. Until our next episode is live, I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye for now.